Vice President Miller for the introduction, teachers, students, most importantly, veterans. I am humbled to be a part of this ceremony, to be among my fellow veterans, the IHS community, which has been a part of my life since 1985. As we prepare for the holidays, we need to take time to remember that the freedoms that allow us to celebrate our holidays in our faith and in any faith across this country are possible because of those who have served and those who continue to serve in our military, so that all Americans may live in this free and democratic nation. Today, in addition to our keynote speaker, who you will hear from shortly, we are honored to have many veterans with us. When I say your name, please stand and remain standing. Please hold your applause to the end. Lieutenant John Ashtar, U.S. Navy, carrier pilot, Vietnam era. Private Robert Pratt, U.S. Army, Cold War. Sergeant Jeff Durkin, U.S. Marine Corps, Operation Enduring Freedom. Specialist Danny Hayes, U.S. Army, Persian Gulf War. Petty Officer 3rd Class John Kennedy, U.S. Navy, Global War on Terrorism. Lieutenant Colonel Martin Fonselli, U.S. Army, Cold War and Global War on Terrorism. Petty Officer 3rd Class Sean McCulkin, U.S. Navy, Cold War. First Lieutenant Jerry Smith, U.S. Marine Corps, Vietnam. Jason Ross, teacher here, Captain, U.S. Air Force, Global War on Terrorism. Arthur Leach, Sergeant, U.S. Army, Cold War. Al Lee, U.S. Air Force, Airman First Class, Cold War. November 11th marks 106 years since the guns fell silent in Europe on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, ending 4 years of the bloodiest fighting in world history. The United States had entered what was known as that Great War. After a year and a half, doughboys having stepped forward to fight for freedom, just over 321,000 were dead and wounded in 18 months. That's nearly 590 dead and wounded for each day the U.S. was involved in World War I. It was once referred to as a war to end all wars, but we certainly know that it did not. Instead, it ushered a new era of highly mechanized, industrialized warfare that was more lethal and more far-reaching. And despite this danger, American sons and daughters, husbands and wives, moms, dads, and brothers and sisters stepped forward, whether native-born or immigrant, from different ethnicities, races, and religions. They stepped forward. They did their patriotic duty, no matter their personal, political, or religious beliefs, because they answered to that higher call, that of duty, honor, and country. Our keynote speaker today is a man who embodies that spirit of service and sacrifice. Nelson Martins graduated from Sacred Heart High School in 1994, from Danbury High School in 1998. He graduated from boot camp after enlisting in 1999, graduated in the year 2000. He completed infantry school at Camp Lejeune, graduated from the Marine Corps Security Forces School in Virginia, and was assigned to his first duty station, Naval Air Station, Patuxent River, Maryland. Everything seemed to be progressing normally. Then everything changed in his life and the lives of most Americans, if not all. The terrorist attack took place on September 11, 2001, a date that changed so many lives of the veterans here and others across this country. Corporal Martins was deployed to Kuwait in February 2003, and on March 20th, 2003, he and his brother Marines were among the first troops to cross into Iraq, fighting their way across more than 350 miles to Baghdad, which they took. He returned home in late 2003, carrying with him those traumatic memories of months of combat. While such invisible wounds of war can be severely debilitating, Nelson, with the support of his family, his combat veteran friends, built a life of continued service to our community with his wife and his greatest supporter, Kimberly. Corporal Martins is active with many military and veteran organizations, including the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 149 in Danbury, which he served as Senior Vice Commander. He served on the board of the Afghanistan-Iraq War Memorial Foundation, which built the first official Iraq-Afghanistan War Monument in Connecticut here in Danbury. Nelson lives in Danbury with his wife Kimberly, his son Chase. I'm honored to call Corporal Martins a friend and a brother in arms. Please welcome U.S. Marine Corps Corporal Nelson Martins.
My name is Nelson Martins, and I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I'd like to say that I'm honored to be here, and I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your day to listen to my speech. I would like to take a moment to say thank you to all the veterans in the room. And being a U.S. Marine, and that today is November 10th, it is our birthday, gentlemen. Happy birthday to the United States Marines, 250 years. Veterans Day is a day of pause and take note of the contributions, patriotism, and sacrifices made to this country by our veterans. For over 200 years, our veterans have answered their country's call. Our military is less than 1% of our population, and our freedoms and way of life are protected by those men and women who serve. Like many of you, I was born and raised in Danbury, attended Danbury schools, graduated from Catholic school, Sacred Heart, attended Danbury High School, left high school, and was unsure of the path I wanted and attended Western Connecticut State University. After a few semesters, I realized I needed change. I was missing something in my life, and I needed to challenge myself in a different way. I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and left the boot camp in October of 1999. That challenge I was looking for came running and screaming at me in the form of a loud, tall, and very intimidating drill instructor. I knew on day one that I was going to get pushed harder than ever before, and I would be asking more than I had ever done. My first duty station on Naval Air Station Patuxent River, Maryland, as an 8152 Security Force Marine guarding nuclear planes and the pilots that flew them. It is there where I truly began to experience what military life was like. I would form a bond with other Marines that have lasted a lifetime. Just this last weekend, I was the best man at a wedding, a Marine I served with 24 years ago. Unfortunately, with all the good that comes with serving your country, that can happen at any moment. I was serving during the tragic event September 11, 2001. That day changed my life and the lives of millions of people. The tragedy of that day would start the global war on terrorism. Our country needed its military men and women to defend it, and we answered. I received orders to report to Camp Pendleton, California in 2002. I was attached to Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Marine Regiment, as an 0311 infantryman. The war in Afghanistan was still being fought, but our country needed us to fight a second war at the same time. This war would take place in Iraq. I landed in Kuwait in February 2003 and crossed into Iraq on March 20th. My unit and I were part of the Shock and Awe campaign, and were one of the many to cross to Iraq the first night. We fought our way north through the Iraq desert until we reached Baghdad. After the fall of Baghdad and the military withdrew troop numbers, I left the military and returned home in October of 2003. My story is just a small sample of the sacrifices made by veterans every day. Our military serves 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, to protect everything we hold dear to our hearts as Americans without taking a break. They created this country during the American Revolution. They fought and won 2 world wars. They have served in Vietnam, Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan, just to name a few. They go wherever they are needed and do what they are asked, no matter the sacrifice. The question I have for you today, you the students, what will you do with the freedom that millions of service members have sacrificed for? How will you improve your hometown, your state, or maybe even your country? There are many ways to serve our communities and country, not just in the military. What matters is that you find a way to serve and make a difference. The veterans we honor today have answered these questions by their selfless military service to our country. Thank you all for choosing to honor veterans today and show support to our heroes from the past and present. May God bless our veterans and all those serving in harm's way. God bless America. Thank you.